When I was driving to work this morning, I was listening to another radio station, as we broadcasters sometimes do. What I heard shocked and saddened me.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They're here, nerds.
Wait, is this the group that goes around mutilating squirrels?
You just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with.
Well, at least we found them. Fortuitous, Captain. And now that we have them all together,
you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They make one person go, blah, 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 and the other person go, what are you talking about? And then one person goes, blah, 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 blah.
Welcome into the weekend here, Superstation 101 WIDE, Saturday morning, very early, kicking it off with the Entertainment Roundtable. Of course, you got a couple of other opportunities to check it out throughout the course of the weekend, Saturday evening. Wow, that was quick, Jeff.
What's that?
You are rapid fire on the dropping of the music.
I'll let it played itself out.
Okay, then.
It was an experiment.
Saturday evening, could be listening to it 7 p.m. or Sunday. Of course, the only chances you're going to have Sunday is if the Michigan race gets rained out. Just saying. Welcome into it, and the round table consists of everybody that you're familiar with except for Jacob. Jacob dealing with a family medical emergency. Keep him and his family in your thoughts and your prayers. We've got Josh in here, and Josh, you brought a friend.
I did. It's like the new thing. I bring a friend each week.
Yes. Who's the round table friend?
This is Chris Copeland. He's a friend of mine. He works on the films I work on. He's an actor, singer, songwriter. And I think a scriptwriter, too. So.
All right. Yeah. Welcome in. Jump in. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Go into the deep end, man. Right. Don't wait. David on the phone as opposed to in the studio. Everything okay?
Sure.
All right. Just making sure. Have the chance to see anything over the past week that you have not had the chance to review?
Just Breaking Bad.
It's a good show, man.
It is a good show, but it's ended.
It really is.
All right. Ryan, welcome back. You had the week off last week. Was it vacation? Were you on a purposeful trip? What was the deal?
Yes, I was on vacation. I was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina with my family, but I'm back now, and it is great to be back, but only for a short time because next weekend I got a big date coming up.
We'll talk about that in a second. You've got a movie or two to review, don't you?
Unfortunately, no, but I am going to see both of them this weekend anyway.
Well, look forward to it. One of these days you'll get the chance to review them, too. And Jeff, how are you, sir?
I'm great.
Fantastical and all that?
You can't stop me.
You stood us up last night.
I know. He wasn't able to make it last night.
I hate it.
We were going to go check out the movie How to Train Your Dragon 2.
He's getting up at 4:30 in the morning, 6 days a week. It kind of wears on you after a while.
It will do that. Trust me.
Yes. So,
I know. Been there, done
off.
that. So we got a couple of reviews of How to Train Your Dragon 2, and you had the chance to go check out The Fault in Your Stars.
I did. You know what's funny is when
something you're very interested in over there, isn't it there, Jeff?
Wait, was that sarcasm or?
That's one of my
It's one of his draft picks.
brackets.
Oh, well, great pick. Gosh, man, it ruled the box office.
Lucked into it. He picked it because he liked the name. That's the luckiest pick out of the entire draft.
Really?
I'm going to go with this because I like the name. It's going to be a $150 million film.
What can I say? People like cancer kids.
Speaking of which, let's go back to last week here, and Ryan, I'm going to fill you in because we talked about the movie Jupiter Ascending, which is moving out of the summer into next January, which means that left Jeff with only 4 movies.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So we put it up to the group, and because we had a quorum, we decided that we would allow Jeff to be able to go and pick a 5th film. You're good with that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jeff?
Yes.
You thought about it. You made a decision fairly quick, but we said you're going to wait a week.
Lucy.
You're 100% sold on Lucy.
Sure, why not?
All right. So Lucy is the replacement for Jupiter
Watch,
Ascending.
it's going to make like $300 million domestically.
Luc Besson.
No, it won't.
Well, it could. I mean, I don't know if I hate it or love it. I
don't know. I'm intrigued by what I see in the trailer. I'm curious as to how it's going to go. But Scarlett Johansson, let's face it, number 1, it's Scarlett Johansson. Number 2, she's got a lot of name recognition from Marvel.
And number 3, Luc Besson.
Yep.
I'm a little bothered by the way he says that, actually.
I feel terrible for saying this, but like when I watched the trailer the first time, I'm like, it's going to be hard for Scarlett Johansson to sell me as the most intelligent person on the planet. That's terrible.
I don't really have a problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk away from
maybe
this
it's
one.
just him.
I have faith that Luc Besson will pull it off.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done with that.
So yeah, I saw. Do you want me to give my review on Fault in the Stars, or wait, or what?
We're gonna wait because that
do it.
will be sort of kind of towards the
Yes.
top of our countdown.
sorry.
We start at the bottom of the top 10. $1 million Arm, another $2 million there. 31.6, not bad. It's a fairly decent film. I didn't figure it was going to make a whole lot of money, but hey, I think it's done pretty well. Yeah. Chef, doing quite well. Still hanging around top 10. 2.6 million, 10.4. Has anyone had the chance to see this?
I have not. I want to.
I don't even know if it's playing anywhere around here.
I can't wait to watch this riveting film.
Said with sarcasm dripping.
No.
Really?
No, it's good.
You know this for a fact?
Well, I've heard from a lot of people that have worked on it that it was really good.
I've heard it's good too, but yeah, I'll wait. It'll keep.
Well, it'll be out on DVD shortly. Up to number 8, Blended, 4.1, 36.6. That'll be out of the top 10 here pretty soon.
Anybody in America say it was great?
I haven't heard anybody say that this was great. What are the ratings on Blended?
God, it got to be terrible.
It is sitting pretty at a 14%.
Woohoo!
On the Rotten Tomato meter.
Fantastic. Neighbors in at number 7, 5.3, 137.9. Godzilla brings up number 6, 6.1 million, 185.2. So your top 5 look like this. Million Days to Die in the West made another 7.3 million, so it's at 30.3. X-Men Days of Future Past, 15.2 million, 189.6 for them. In at number 3, debuting at 28.8 million, Edge of Tomorrow. Third place. Seems a little lower than what I might have initially thought.
Oh, God, yeah. No, it got trashed, man.
And it has been trashed. What's the ratings that it's showing up on Rotten Tomatoes over there, Jeff?
No, I thought it did good on the by the critics.
The critics love it. It's 90%.
No,
okay.
see, what
are the fans?
Fans love it. It's just not a lot of people saw it.
I know, which is kind of strange. I mean, as big as this is, and understand that the two films that are in front of it.
As far as the movie goes.
You know what I hear? What I think?
Tell me.
2 movies destroyed this movie: Oblivion and Elysium. I think destroyed this movie.
And I could see where you're coming from with that, especially
people,
Oblivion.
They saw Oblivion. They saw Tom Cruise in the movie sci-fi.
It's just Tom in another sci-fi action film.
Kind of subpar. And then Elysium with the exoskeleton push was terrible, but it looked like the same.
Terrible.
It was horrible.
It was terrible. But Edge of Tomorrow was amazing.
No, I don't know what movie they saw they thought was Elysium, but apparently it wasn't.
Did you like Elysium?
Absolutely.
I loved Elysium.
Boom. See?
What?
I did. I loved it.
Chris, we're not going to ask you to come back.
My opinion would probably be different.
I personally think the audiences are tired of Tom Cruise and his old bag of tricks.
No, it was amazing.
Well, hang on. He may be onto something a little bit here because you mentioned Oblivion. People may be getting to the point where they want to see Tom Cruise in something other than a sci-fi action flick. That may be what we need.
Or a movie.
Or a movie for David. Up to number 2, Maleficent, 34.3 million, 128.2. It was.
It wasn't that good.
Nah.
I liked it.
Did you get the chance to review that, Ryan?
Yeah, I saw Maleficent. It wasn't that good. Josh, what are you smoking over there?
I didn't say it was great. I just said I didn't hate it. I liked it. It was okay. What did I give it? Like a 5 out of 10?
Yeah, and I was kind of right there. Visually, it was a very good-looking film, but the story. Okay, Disney took a character that they're well known for, and they Disneyfied it.
Oh, big time.
Well, I don't think they're good at anti-heroes. Like, I don't think they're good at like making like these bad guys like the main good guys. Like you can pull that off in Breaking Bad or House of Cards, but they don't pull it off well. It was just kind of it felt not well done.
And again,
I liked it. I mean, it was fun.
Feel free to disagree or agree if you will, Ryan. But whoever taught Angelina Jolie to overact should get paid an extra bonus for her work in this film because wow, she was overacting to the nth degree. And that brings us to number 1, $48 million debut. It's a nice little debut for you there, sir, for a film that you just like the name of. The Fault in Our Stars. Well, the only person so far that's seen it on this panel is Josh.
Oh, I think
I've seen it.
Have you seen it? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I wasn't even aware of this film, and I was like, oh man,
neither was Jeff, but he picked it.
I'm like, Edge of Tomorrow is going to crush the box office. No one's going to because it looks great. And then it obviously Fault of Our Stars comes out and it's like the number 1 in the box office, and I was completely blindsided by it. So I went back and watched the trailer, and I had watched it, and I watched the trailer, and I was like, I don't know if I would go see a movie like this. Heard a lot of people talking about it. I'm one of those like late adopters. I come in at the end when things are popular. So I went to go see it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked it. I thought it was a good little movie. I never read the book, obviously. I thought the characters were really entertaining. What's the main actress's name?
Shailene Woodley.
She did such a good job that I think that she should be at least in the lineup for an Oscar.
Really?
Yeah, she was amazing. And it dealt with a hard subject, and I thought it had wit to it. And I thought they had a lot of charm to the story. I mean, at parts there was a bit angsty because you're dealing with teenagers.
Sure.
But it wasn't like offensive. Like to me, it wasn't offensive angst. It wasn't like a Twilight kind of movie. It had a lot of heart to the film, so I really liked it. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. So on a 1 to 10 ranking, Chris, where are you going? Kind of give us your overview of it.
I would say, well, I heard about it because one of my favorite artists actually wrote the credit song for it, Ed Sheeran, and so I follow him pretty closely, and I saw that he was writing a song for it. And as soon as I saw that he was writing a song for it and was doing a lot of like publicity for that, I knew that they were going to have his whole audience going after the movie because, he's kind of, MTV's doing a series now about his coming into fame and stuff, so he's very much in the spotlight. I think he had a lot to do with the, the marketing of it, bringing in his fan base, which is all the, 12 to 17-year-old girls.
Wow, the target audience of The Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you could see over the heads of everyone who was going in to see the movie.
Very true.
Just lined up outside the theater. But I would say personally, I would give it like a 7, a 6, or a 7. But I think critically, the things that bothered me about it were some of the dialogue I think probably worked better in the book. As opposed to actually hearing it spoken. It seemed a little bit like over, I don't know. It's
almost
kind
overwrought?
Yeah, it just seemed, that'd probably be the word for it. I don't know.
Okay. So you gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, so
I really liked
6 to 7. We'll
You're
put it
getting
right
soft,
down the
man.
middle, 6.5.
6.5. I'd
We'll
go
go
6.5.
I think Chris is more critical than I am.
You're getting soft, man.
Yeah, really, you are getting soft.
Well, no,
it was a good movie. It was.
It reminded me a lot of Silver Linings Playbook. It has a lot of the same kind of quirkiness to it. But obviously a harder subject to deal with. So I actually really liked it. So
Okay. Is this something that you plan on going to see now, Jeff?
No.
All right. Coming out this week, couple of big-name films. 22 Jump Street. This is the sequel. Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, Ice Cube. Sequel where our bumbling cops now go to college in another deep undercover role. At some point in time, might end up checking this out this weekend. But I will say this. I didn't see the first one.
You ever saw the first one?
No.
Oh, the first one's funny.
I remember the TV show, and for some reason, I just had this thing about not really wanting to go see this film.
Ah, the first one was really funny.
Maybe I need to actually go back and watch it. And then the film that you and I had the chance to check out, How to Train Your Dragon 2, voices of Jay Baruchel, Kate Blanchett, Gerard Butler, Craig Ferguson, and others. The training continues, but needs to happen as a battle is brewing. Let's go. Let's start with you.
Man.
How to Train Your Dragon 2, what do you think?
Okay, so I went into this. I didn't like the commercials for this movie. I'll have to say that. Every commercial I watch, I'm like, dang it, they're going to destroy one of my favorite animated films. I went into it thinking, it's going to be okay. The director, they split up the director team, so I was a little concerned about that. I forget his name is like DeBoyes or something, the director that directed it. So I was concerned going in. I dare say I liked this movie more than I liked this first film.
Okay.
And that I say that with How to Train Your Dragon being one of my favorite movies ever made. Cartoon-wise. Amazing. I mean, it was a very, daring film. There was a lot of, drama in it that you would not expect in a kid's film. Dealing with tough stuff. I'm not going to give away spoilers. And then it was very fun. I thought it was very witty. I think it had the intelligence and the heart of the first film. And I'm a huge animation nerd. And I really loved it. I give it probably... I'm the positive guy now today. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a really stinking good movie.
What has happened to this guy?
I don't know.
I used to be so harsh.
I mean, it used to be that the biggest rating was a 5.
Yeah, but there's been a few good movies that came out. I really liked these.
You gushed over a film. One of the first times you came here, you gushed over a film and you said, I'll give it a 5.
Which film was that?
I can't even remember, but it's because it's been a while since you've been on the show. But yeah, you absolutely gushed over a film in one of your first appearances on the show, and you gave it a 5 out of 10.
I'm ashamed. But I really liked this film.
Amazing to us. So the transformation, either he has seen the light.
I'm growing.
Or there's an invasion of the body snatchers going on here. I don't know which.
There's something in the water.
There must be.
It's an adjustment.
It's an adjustment. Major adjustment.
I should have slammed it so it would do bad. So Jeff wouldn't win the contest.
Actually, I agree with you on this. Had the chance. I was late to this. I didn't actually watch the first one when it came out in movie theaters. I waited, and I actually waited until it showed up on television the other night. The night before we went to go see this, I watched the original How to Train Your Dragon. I liked it. I thought it was very good. Probably would have been very good for me to have seen on the big screen. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I got a real good idea of the characters. And then you go into the second one, and they don't waste a whole lot of time in resetting it. They pick back up and just say, okay, here's how they've grown over this period of time, and just drop you right back into it, and the characters are comfortable. You see where you're going with it, and you have a good time. And they do ramp up the intensity, so keep that in mind if you got a really young child. The intensity is pretty big, so keep that in mind if you're going to take a young child. But otherwise, it's going to be a lot of fun. And you're right, there's seriousness, but there's a lot of times where you're going to have that chance to just laugh and be able to enjoy yourself. And they don't cross over each other and make a bad scene out of it. And I would probably go right there with you. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed that, and that's going to be a good film. In fact, probably we'll go back and see it.
Me too.
At some point in time this weekend.
2 or 3 times at least.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is going to be a good film.
Go see it a few times.
We're going to actually get in for free, though, so it doesn't support you.
Yeah, sorry. We're not helping you there.
You already got Fault in Our Stars.
I got 2 tickets.
I actually did.
Just asking. Out in limited release, if you can find them. Film's called Hellion and the Rover. This one stars Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson. And there's a film called The Signal, which stars Lawrence Fishburne. So not a whole lot out this week. Next week, a movie called Think Like a Man 2. And the film Jersey Boys. And my wife is insisting that I go take her to that. She saw the preview. Well, this is the one where Clint Eastwood directs the film about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And she saw the preview on TV. She saw the commercial for it, and she said, I want to go see that. My immediate reaction when I first saw a preview for this was to go, okay, now are we going to get a biopic of every singer that ever lived?
Yeah.
And what did I find out earlier today? Tom Hiddleston, who we know so well as playing Loki in the Thor series, he's about to portray Hank Williams Sr.
Jersey Boys actually looks really good, I think.
I think it does. If they can, if what we see in the previews holds true, and there's that little chance where they kind of turn to the camera every once in a while and they do that commentary while action still goes on in the background, I think that'll make it a little bit more interesting to me.
I am conflicted by the trailer. At first, I thought it was interesting looking, but I'm kind of confused by them breaking the third wall like that. Like, they don't give any kind of explanations, just break into it, and it doesn't seem... I just don't know if there's a rhyme or reason to it.
It's kind of like Ferris Bueller to me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I like it when it's done well, like House of Cards does it, and I love that they do that. But I'm just not intrigued by this movie. So maybe I'm not a big music lover. So
there you go.
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall like that is really difficult to get right. But when it's done well, is it can be amazing.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'm sure I'll have a report on it.
Done.
At some point in time in the next couple of weeks. When we come back, we're going to get into some movie news here, and Jacob had 1 or 2 stories, which, Jeff, thank you very much for picking up on that. And we've got a whole lot of stuff to talk about, actually. Several trailers that we're going to have to deal with. Hopefully we're watching our trailers this week. We'll talk about them next.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, the Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
Hey, welcome back in. Usually come back from a song that's on a soundtrack to a movie that's either out in theaters or coming out this week. Hard to believe that the guys from 22 Jump Street went back and picked the John Waite song Missing You up, but they did.
I think I know why, too.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I think I know why.
Care to elaborate?
Apparently someone comes between the partners in this film.
Plot twist.
Gotcha. All right, first up as we get into movie news, Ryan, we come to you. Word of a video game being made into a movie. Generally not really news. We've heard it before, but this particular video game was actually already seen on television. What character is Sony looking to bring to the big screen?
They are looking to bring Sonic the Hedgehog, the legendary video game character, to the big screen. It's going to be a combination of CGI and live-action film, and they're not sure who's going to be the star, the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog. They don't have a set release date yet, but either way, this is a terrible idea.
I don't know where they're going to go with this. I don't know where they're going to go with it. I mean, what are they going to do?
Well, they said they're going to bring back all their classic villains. I guess that's something to add to the table.
I hope it's a real hedgehog in a CG environment.
So in other words, you want a redo of Speed Racer?
Sure, why not?
It doesn't move its mouth. You just hear the people speaking anyway. You see it reacting to it, kind of like Milo will notice.
Disney, Ryan, seems to be kind of in a rut. Recently, they've been kind of turning all their animated films into live-action films. Their latest plan, apparently, is to do Beauty and the Beast with real people. What do you know?
Ooh, that's cool.
Well, according to Variety, they have hired the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn director Bill Condon to direct a live-action version of the 1991 animated feature itself, Beauty and the Beast. Once again, one of the worst ideas in history, and if you mess with the 91 animated
I know. Oh.
Yeah.
filmmakers and filmgoers angry.
I'm with you, Ryan.
That's where I kind of went with this. I mean, you think about those animated films, and they're turning around and they're making them all live action. Can you bring that magic back?
No chance in heck.
And then you turn around and you bring the director of the Twilight series in.
No, see, literally, Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite movies, not just animated films, ever made.
Oh,
so
I
if they
agree.
screw with that film, I'm going to be putting a whooping on them.
Have they tried, or is there rumor about who might be attached to play leads?
No, we have no idea who's going to be in this film as
Come
of yet.
on, why? It's a good movie. A movie's a movie. If it's animated or if it's real, why mess with it? That's my.
Didn't they make it into a TV series for like CW or something, or is that like more of a remake of the old soap opera?
That's more a remake of the old soap opera that starred
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
In my mind, it's all the same crap. It's all the same.
Right, I mean,
like
just,
a variation of the same thing over and over
it's
again.
not like the story Beauty and the Beast never existed before 1991. Like some
I
people
know.
are
I'm just saying
angry.
it was
Right,
done
well,
with such excellence. I mean, that was the first animated film to be nominated for Best Feature Film.
So it's therefore the best ever.
It's one of the best, I think, animated films. I think it's like the peak of 2D traditional animation.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just
saw
think
the
it's
Broadway
a
show,
great
Beauty
film.
and the Beast. The Broadway.
You saw the Broadway version?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it
There's
was
the door.
good.
Because first it's always
How dare they? How dare they do a Broadway version based on the film?
I know.
What do they do?
I thought it might have been
touch
done
the
with
property
puppets
again.
and cutout pictures, but
You're right.
lo and behold, live people.
All right, here we go. Let's get into these trailers here. And the first one out is a sequel to a 20-year-old film, Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber 2, set to come out later this year. What do we all think? And let's start with you, Ryan.
I thought the trailer was meh, but Jim Carrey could do 100 better things in his life than this one.
Okay, David, quick.
I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure if I still think it's going to be good, but it's definitely going to be a sequel to Dumb and Dumber. I mean, it's just hard to say, man. I mean, I like Dumb and Dumber, but really for nostalgic reasons, I guess. But I don't know how I'll feel. I'll see it. It made me laugh, so I'll go with it.
Chris?
I am among the biggest fans of Jim Carrey.
Okay.
However, this really, I don't know, it didn't make me very excited. I was never the biggest fan of the original Dumb and Dumber, but I don't know, I feel like at this point it's just so classic that people are going to force themselves to be excited about it just because of how much they love the original. So,
okay.
I don't know.
I'm really
Josh?
hoping this is just a bad trailer because, like Anchorman, I feel like it's going to take a big poop on the original one. And I'm just not excited by it. I'm very mad because it looks like that dumb slapstick, on-the-nose humor that we saw in Anchorman 2, and just really not following the guidelines of the first movies that were these really funny, heartfelt, intelligent comedies. I really liked. I'm a huge fan of Dumber and Dumber, the first one. I think it's so funny.
Jeff?
To you? I feel like we should have just gone around and asked for everybody's reaction. Like
It's
by a
just,
noise.
I don't like the first one. I
What?
thought it was pretty poot. This looks like more of the same.
Okay. I was intrigued and interested for about the first 30 seconds or so of the trailer. The whole gag bit, and look it up online, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This 20-year-old gag thing that one of the characters is pulling on the other, that was funny. As soon as that was done, the rest of the trailer went right downhill into very tired gags, some of them ultimately tasteless, which, granted, that's what Dumb and Dumber was, but still, I don't feel like there was anything here that makes me really want to go see this film.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping it's a bad trailer.
I am too.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Let's move on to the next one. Everyone's seen the trailer for Hercules? This is the one starring The Rock, by the way?
It's going to be the Braveheart of this decade.
All right. Ryan? Now that you've heard Josh's opinion, where would you like to go with it?
I'd still like to go see it. You know, I like this trailer more than the last few teasers we've been shown over the course of the last few months, so I look forward to seeing it. And plus, it's The Rock. You can't go wrong.
David?
You can't go wrong with The Rock, and this is the movie to go wrong with The Rock in. It looked like there were a lot of good actors in it, but it just still looks so bad, so bad.
Jeff?
Brett Ratner. That's all I got to say.
Chris?
And that's a fair point.
I think that he seemed, when I heard that he was going to play Hercules, I was like, okay, this could be cool. But I don't know. It was just so weak seeing it play out. I don't know what I hoped for, but it was not that.
Saw the second trailer. I liked the first one. I liked the first trailer better than I liked the second trailer. It actually made me a little less anticipatory towards the film, unfortunately. I'm hoping that something else might actually... I'm hoping it's a bad trailer.
It's what are you expecting? It's like,
I don't know.
it's just going to be blah, blah, blah.
I was hoping for something
kicking
better.
butt, and maybe it'll be fun.
Maybe
Whatever.
so. Let's deal with the one for Sin City, A Dame to Die For. I take it we've all seen that.
Oh, yes.
David, how about we start with you this time?
I didn't see it.
You haven't seen it.
I couldn't be
dare you.
bothered to click the link.
Why?
You couldn't be bothered.
Well,
The first one was awesome.
yeah, I agree, but I'm already going to see it. I know I'm going to see it. I just didn't care enough to do it.
Wow.
All right, Ryan, what do you think?
Wow, you just lost a lot of points around this table here, David.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I don't think he's worried about that.
What is wrong with you? Anyway, see the trailer. Sim City, A Dame to Kill For. Watching this trailer, it's styling and profiling, and it looks like Christmas.
Oh, all right. Josh?
I have nothing as elegant as that to say. I wish
There
I
you
could. I loved the first one. I love the style of him. I love that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in this one. All the actors in it. This one looks great. I like that kind of movie. It's not like the kind of movie I want to see every day, but and I'm also a big Rodriguez fan, the director. So I'm looking forward to it.
Chris?
I think that it looks cool.
I'll go with that. Jeff?
I love the style of it, but
yeah, I'm in on this one.
As soon as I saw
assume
it,
I've seen the same trailer that y'all have.
yeah, probably.
Anyone that's been online, I've watched. So.
Yeah, saw it, liked it, I'm in.
Done.
Pretty much it. And recently, just not too long ago, Ryan, you sent me one for a film called The Equalizer. This is who? Denzel Washington? Tell me a little bit about the film first.
Sure, The Equalizer stars Denzel Washington, Chloe Grace Moretz. Denzel Washington is a former Black Ops soldier. He's, in retirement, wants to live a quiet life, but someone he knows, a friend of his, I guess the daughter of a friend of his, gets kidnapped, and he is on a mission to find her and bring her home. It opens up in theaters and IMAX on September the 26th.
What'd you think of it?
I think it looks good. It's from director Antoine Fuqua, and he gave us the great cop film training day, so I'm in.
I saw the preview. I actually like it. It looks like it might be pretty good, but it also there is a chance that this may fall down some pitfalls that some other films like this do, where you just kind of get rehashes of the same way of getting revenge on people, and I'm hoping that they don't do that. But what I saw, I was intrigued by.
It doesn't sound like an incredibly original idea, but
not totally.
It has Denzel Washington in it, and he's one of the last actors in my list of if he's in anything, I'll watch it. Yeah. I just really like his movies.
Did you have the chance to see any?
I've seen a trailer for it. I don't know if it's the same one.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks good to me. I like to see Denzel, as a stone cold killer.
Yeah. Used to be at one point in time, he didn't take roles like that.
No, but since Man on Fire, it's like whenever you want to put a gun on your hip, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
Man on Fire was so good. It's so good.
All right, last year, I heard the premise of the film. I was a little doubtful, but then I saw the first trailer, became interested, went to see Pacific Rim, thoroughly enjoyed myself. Summer popcorn movie kind of sense. I didn't think it was like a major Oscar material, but it's a lot of fun. So should we be shocked, Ryan, that a second one's in plans?
Not so much. Director Guillermo del Toro has confirmed he's currently working on the script for Pacific Rim 2, along with screenwriter Zach Penn. According to them, the new script is a fully fledged sequel rather than a prequel that was earlier rumored. Charlie Hunnam and Rinko Kikuchi's characters are set to appear in the second film, should it be green-lit.
I'm sure it will
Do
be.
the creatures come back? Does another hole open up?
Gotta be.
Who cares? Giant robots and monsters.
We'll figure it out.
Man.
Who cares?
We'll figure out a way. Maybe they'll just drop them in from space. Let's go for it. Speaking of sequels, and sorry, David, fifth film in the Mission Impossible series in the works. We know it's going to be Tom Cruise. Anyone else from the previous films coming back, Ryan?
Yes, sir. Jeremy Renner, who played Agent William Brandt, is going to return for MI5. Now we just need the rest of the crew to come back.
Do we know who's directing?
Yeah, Christopher McQuarrie, who gave you Jack Reacher.
Oh.
That might not be the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, but you know what?
It could be interesting.
This is the deal. Even when the new director comes on board, the previous directors come on as like serious advisors to the film. So like when Brad Bird directed the last one, J.J. Abrams actually was like guiding him through it with them together. Like that's the way the Mission
Let's
Impossible
hope Brad
films.
Bird does a lot of,
I
hey,
know.
you really ought to do this.
And J.J. Abrams, they're going to both be on board.
All
so.
right. Over to Insurgent news for the second week in a row. Jacob found out about some casting news. Jeff, you took it over. Did you
I did.
figure out who this guy is?
Someone I've never heard of. He's Australian, though.
All right, then. Is he in some sort of soap opera down there or something?
Kanan Lonsdale has signed on to play Uriah, who is a character in the book.
I know of
have
Uriah.
not read.
Yeah, I actually got a hold of the audiobooks of the second and third film in
You
there,
watched it?
so I listened to it.
I don't know if you also know Rosa Salazar. I think she was on Parenthood as a character a couple of seasons ago. She's going to play Lynn. So yay, 2 people cast in Insurgent.
Do we know when this film is supposed to come out?
In the future.
Okay, so we don't have a specific date. It's not like Hunger Games, which is coming out, one every year.
Right.
Okay.
Did you
so we don't
like
know.
the books?
See, they were okay.
Not so much, did you?
Yeah, they were okay. They weren't great.
After I watched the first Hunger Games, I read the next 2 books, loved them. I'm on board. Can't wait to see what they do with it.
This one
After I
kinda laid
watched
there.
Divergent, I was just kind of like,
I watched
I'm not gonna
Divergent, and I'm like,
wait
okay,
till the
well, I know
movies.
that this is going to make money. It didn't make a whole lot of money here, but it made some pretty decent money overseas. So I figured that they were going to go ahead and make the second and third books into films. So I thought, well, let me go get familiar with them, and got a hold of them, and
I think I heard they're going to split the third film into 2 parts.
Of course they are.
Yeah, it's an incredibly original idea, Lionsgate.
Yeah, really. Thanks a lot. That hasn't been done before at all.
Like Hunger Games.
Yeah, I suppose we've gone long enough without a superhero story in our movie section. So to David and Marvel, the continuing saga of Ant-Man, the revolving door that seems to be the director's seat. What's the newest?
Well, I was worried a couple of weeks ago because they were talking about Adam McKay from Anchorman directing Ant-Man. Well, no, he's screenwriting. And Peyton Reed, the guy who directed Yes Man, The Breakup, and The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, is actually directing Ant-Man. So I don't know how to feel about this. I like about half of the movies that this guy's made.
This is definitely going to have this comedic attitude towards it. This isn't going to be straight up Avengers kind of, we're going to take this as seriously as we can. They're going to throw comedy into this. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, I'm sure that was always going to be the plan, though.
Well, I think I guess what I'm saying is it's going to be more comedy than what we've experienced before. I mean, we've always had chances to laugh at a Tony Stark, an Iron Man, or a Thor or Captain America. Even in the Avengers, there were times when we had good opportunities to laugh. I just think that this is going to be taking an even more comedic side than those films have. Which not necessarily a bad thing.
Shark on it, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, not necessarily a bad thing. I'll just be very interested to see where it goes because you are talking about a character that is not widely known. But then again, they're doing that with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, they have Rocket Raccoon, so I'm not really worried about them jumping the shark in terms of comedy.
Okay. Ryan, we don't usually talk personnel changes in the front office of production studios, but we're going to in this case because you feel that this will have implications for the DC movie universe. What's happening up at the front office of Warner Brothers?
Well, Warner Brothers, they've added a major player to their team. Drew Cravella, who helped relaunch Fox's X-Men franchise with First Class and things of that nature, has been named the Senior VP of Production over at Warner Brothers. He will oversee films through every single stage of development as well as production. So they may have just found their Kevin Feige.
Well, David, you seem to think maybe they have because you've learned a little bit more on that story. Some plans that the studio has for the franchise?
Well, this is still, you should still be considered a rumor. This was a leak. Apparently, this was supposed to be announced at next month's San Diego Comic-Con. Apparently, Ryan Reynolds is 100% out as Green Lantern, and they have released, still rumor, the DC movie slate through 2018. May 2016 is Batman vs. Superman.
Right.
July 2016 is Shazam.
Okay, wow.
Christmas 2016, Sandman. May 2017, Justice League. July 2017, Wonder Woman. Christmas 2017, Untitled Green Lantern Flash Team Up. And May 2018, Man of Steel 2.
So they're looking to get 3 films over the next couple of years. Is that a little too ambitious?
I think it's kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it.
Jeff, what do you think?
See them fall flat on their face.
Yeah. Hey,
Jeff?
why not? Marvel's squeezing out 2 a year. Why not 3, WB?
All right.
Sure.
Ryan, what do you think?
Well, like we said before, all rumor until we hear from the horse's mouth at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to take this with a huge grain of salt. But if this is the case, cool, bring it on. But you better line up directors, writers, producers, and stars, brother, because these movies and these dates are going to hit you faster than a speeding bullet.
No kidding. Chris?
It's all going to be Zack Snyder and David S. Goyer, probably.
Maybe, Chris?
First of all, Zack Snyder
cranking
can't
out
direct
crap.
600 films at one time. Second
Hang
of all,
on,
there
hang
are other
on,
directors
hang
who deserve a shot.
I agree. There should be more directors and writers out there. Chris?
I think that Marvel has done a better job with creating like a solid branding of their movies, so you kind of know what to expect as far as like quality goes, or at least the tone of them. But DC has I feel like it's kind of seems like it's changed feeling so often that I don't know. I think that it's going to be weird seeing DC come out with try to battle Marvel, with all these movies.
You agree, Josh?
Well, I think that competition is good for both sides. It makes everybody step up their A game. So I would like to see DC Comics kind of step up and start making some quality films. So
I would like to say that I think WB has consistently given us a tone and given us what to expect with their films. Boring.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I like
fair.
the fact that they want to be ambitious and they want to start cranking these things out. I'm a little worried that they've gotten themselves a little too ambitious. I think 2 films a year is probably about what you really want to deal with when it comes to quality control. Trying to juggle 3 is going to be a little tough for them. We'll see whether they can actually do it, and we'll see whether the announcement holds true when it comes to Comic-Con coming up next month.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't even been able to put out one good movie every 3 years.
Well, we'll see whether that changes or not. We'll switch over to television stuff when we come back. We got to take this break on the Entertainment Roundtable.
They do all their own stunts. The Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
When you get contract news about somebody on the Today Show, you almost have to go back and find some really cheesy 1970s NBC Today Show music, and that's exactly what this is. This is the Today Show from 1979, and I'd forgotten how cheesy it was, actually. Well, let's start with NBC right there. And Jeff, I'll come to you in just a second. The reason we talked about today is our great listener and sometimes contributor, Daniel, checked in. NBC, if you don't like Matt Lauer on the Today Show, you're out of luck because the network likes him there. They signed him to a contract extension. Details were not immediately given out, but Matt Lauer is going to be on the Today Show for several more years. So again, if you don't like him, too bad. Jeff, you have seen a preview for the fall TV show Constantine.
Yes, I have.
What do you think?
New one. I think it looks pretty good. They actually got an actor that is British, like the character is.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're striking the right tone with the rises of humor. Sort of the dark tone. And I noticed
I was about to say, you saw what some people might consider an Easter egg.
Yeah, about 2/3 to the trailer of another character, a little nod to another DC character, Dr. Fate. It looks like Constantine has found his helmet somewhere.
That was so exciting to me.
And anyone fans of Smallville may remember he was on an episode or 2 of Smallville in the later seasons. Dr. Fate was.
So that brings Ryan in because you were a big fan of Smallville. You in on this?
Darn right.
All right. When does this debut? September?
No,
October.
In October. I believe it's October the 24th, 10, 9 Central on NBC.
Wow, this guy knows what he's talking about, doesn't he? One of the other Daniel things deals with the Fox network. They announced they pulled 2 shows off their schedule before they aired all the episodes, among them the game show Riot. Anybody? Nobody? Yeah, I didn't think so. Mm-hmm. And the very low-rated dating show I Want to Marry Harry, which apparently women were competing to be chosen by an actor that was, I guess, portraying Prince Harry?
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't tell them. They thought he was Harry.
Too bad.
Was the conceit.
So this kind of goes upon, what was that? This is the same premise as the one, I Want to Marry a Millionaire?
I think it was Joe Millionaire, remember that?
Was it Joe Millionaire?
I believe it was.
I think it was more the same premise as, hey, what's down your shirt? Huh? What? Doink. That's sort of the premise it was working under.
Fox was so thrilled with these two that they decided to yank them and put in place of them reruns of Family Guy, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, New Girl, and The Mindy Project. Over to USA, Daniel let us know they've renewed the cop comedy Sirens for the second season. It's a Dennis Leary-produced show. I didn't realize that. He's the one of the executive producers on there and got the idea from a British show. It follows 3 Chicago EMTs. It was the #1 new comedy on cable last season.
I'm shocked.
I never saw an episode. Did you, Ryan?
Yeah, wow. Dennis Leary catching someone else's idea and running with it. Have you ever heard of that?
Did you see an episode of this, Ryan? Because I haven't.
I have never seen an episode of Sirens, but every promo I see pop up on my DVR or USA Network in general, I'm like, this looks stupid.
I don't know. I might actually have to watch an episode just to see why it got renewed. I mean, does Dennis Leary have that much pull?
I guess he does.
To ABC Family, and one more Daniel contribution, he notes the network has greenlit a 6th and 7th season of a show that I'm only vaguely aware of. In other words, I've heard the series name. Pretty Little Liars. Apparently, though, the show is that network's top-rated scripted drama. Who knew? Ryan, we do have some Marvel TV news. We were talking about Daredevil when we were in the break just a second ago, and Marvel is going to bring Daredevil back in a Netflix series. They've apparently cast a villain. If you're familiar with the Law & Order spinoff Criminal Intent, you kind of will be familiar with this person. Who is it, and what are they going to do?
Yes, sir. That would be Vincent D'Onofrio. He's going to take on the iconic role of Wilson Fisk, a.k.a. the Kingpin on Daredevil.
I can see Vincent D'Onofrio in that role.
Oh, I can totally see it. This guy's got the acting chops and the looks and just the right attitude for it.
Have we, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know whether we know. Has anyone been cast actually as Daredevil? Who?
Yes, we do. That would be a newcomer and somewhat of a new-coming actor. His name is Charlie Cox. Is going to take on Matt Murdock Daredevil role.
He was the main character in Stardust.
Yeah, but no one watched that movie.
I did. I thought it was a good movie.
For David and Jeff.
Oh, Stardust was meh. It was bad.
One more note here before we do the rundown of the Summer Movie League here. And remember, Jeff has replaced Jupiter Ascending, which has been moved out of the summer this year into next year. So he replaced it with the Scarlett Johansson film Lucy, which comes out in August.
You can't spell Lucy without Luc, which is the first name of Luc Besson.
Good God. A couple of people passed away that we know quite well. Ann B. Davis, who played Alice on The Brady Bunch, passed away earlier this week. And Ruby Dee, veteran of stage, radio, film, and TV acting throughout her career, passed away earlier this week. She was in so many things: Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, Peyton Place, Raisin in the Sun, Edge of the City. She actually, one of her first movie roles was actually very critically well received. She played the wife of Jackie Robinson in the Jackie Robinson story, the original one, where Jackie portrayed himself.
Good movie, actually.
Yeah, and also was in the miniseries The Stand in 1994. She portrayed Mother Abigail in that from the Stephen King novel. She was married to Ossie Davis from 1948 until he passed away in 2005, so they had been together for a long, long time. She passes away of natural causes at the age of 91. You ready?
Here we go.
You ready? God bless America, Josh.
Yep.
X-Men Days of Future Past, $195 million.
Ching.
Neighbors, $140 million. Rio 2, $126 million. You are sitting right now, and this is as of yesterday, $461.3 million, and you've got 2 more films to go, and those are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Let's Be Cops. We saw the preview to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last night at the front of How to Train Your Dragon 2. And you looked at me and you went, I can't believe I picked that film.
I really hope it makes money because it looks so dumb.
Sitting in second place is still me, $255.8 million, Captain America the Winter Soldier, very top-heavy because the other two did not do that well. $82.4 million for The Other Woman, and Draft Day at $28.8 million. So I'm at $367.1 million. Third place in the standings is Ryan, $248.8 million. Ryan, you have $187.5 million in Godzilla, $38.2 million in Blended and Fading Fast, and a film that, wow, I thought I had an anchor in Draft Day.
You got screwed, right?
Welcome to Transcendence, $22.9 million. But you still have Hercules and Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Sin City's going to be...
Sin City.
Yeah, Sin City I think is going to be his bigger one. I think Hercules...
It'll do okay.
It probably will get 75 to 100 million.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. Sin City should easily get that area, so he's still a player. I've still got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and the Purge Anarchy, by the way, just to mention.
Both really cool looking films.
Yeah, but can they overcome Draft Day?
Planet of the Apes looks insane.
I'm looking forward to that one, actually. David, you're not too far behind Ryan, $230.4 million, and that's on the strength of only 2 films, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, $197.2, and A Million Days to Die in the West, sitting at $33.2 million, but I don't know, $7.3 million, that's not too bad. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be great. What do you got left? You got Planes, Fire, and Rescue. We saw the trailer to that last night, too.
Retarded.
Yeah, I kind of looked at it and went, Why did you pick that? Because it was like the only animated film coming out in the middle of the summer or something like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just because there was really nothing else to pick from.
And here's the thing.
It will make money.
It will make money.
It will make stupid money.
Was there a regular Planes movie that came out?
There was.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it was
I was
going to
making
be
sure they didn't.
It was going to be straight to DVD.
Yeah. The other 2 that he's got coming out, Sex Tape, and then the last one that he's got coming out, and this one will make money, is The Expendables 3.
Oh, that looks awesome.
And then that brings us to Jacob, $179.1 million on the strength of 2 films. Maleficent, which is at $140.9 million, and Edge of Tomorrow, $38.1. He's still waiting on films. Think Like a Man 2 comes out next weekend.
Oh, okay.
Tammy, which I'm not so certain that this is going to be great. I saw the poster for it, and I was uninspired.
Yeah, most of my cars.
I mean, when your tagline is, she hits the road and the road hit back, I'm a little...
That's all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. That was my example. But then he's got this one in August, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Son of a gun.
And Jeff, you lucky...
Bringing up the rear.
Lucky sucker.
But now...
Jeff, $62.2 million on the strength of 1 film, The Fault in Our Stars.
Which I would have never thought would be the film that would bring that in.
Of all the films that came out on that list, none of us knew what the heck The Fault in Our Stars were.
Just getting
Jeff,
started, man.
You drafted it because you liked the name.
Maybe I was just kidding about it. Maybe I'd done my due diligence.
You read the book.
I doubt it seriously.
You
You're
did
right.
the research.
You're right. I just like, that's a cool name, The Fault in Our Stars.
This kid right here lucked into a film that's going to make $150 million.
I saw the preview and I was like, oh.
And get
crap.
this.
Yeah. It's gonna make like $10. Nobody cares about kids in love.
Get this. This is what he still has yet to get. How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Oh, boy.
22 Jump Street.
What?
Transformers Age of Extinction.
Oh, my God.
And Lucy.
Well, Jeff might win this thing.
Right.
It's between you and him right now because unless Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, well, I think that'll do well for me, but unless the Purge Anarchy overdoes what I think it'll do, I think I'm out.
The first one was a big hit.
I think I'm out. I think if it were me right now, and this is with all due respect to everybody else on this list, I think it's between Jeff and Josh. That's my opinion.
I think my anchor is going to be Let's Be Cops. That's either going to make money or just tank. It looks funny.
I'm trying to figure out what Jeff's anchor might be.
I mean, but I don't have huge hopes for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles either.
Yeah,
probably Lucy. Seriously, I think Lucy.
Yeah, and
I
think you might be right. In looking at it, Transformers is going to make money. 22 Jump Street.
Oh yeah, it's going
is going to make money because it's done well, and we already know what How to Train Your Dragon 2 is going to do. It's been so well received. I would say Lucy probably would be your least profitable film, but I think it will make good money.
I hope it's my $120 million acre.
Did we?
It probably will be $120 million.
Have we decided the prize yet?
No, we really haven't. I guess we do need to figure that out now that we got a moment or two.
I'll take a copy of every film that y'all picked as your brackets. When they get home video.
I'm thinking something a little bit more affordable for the rest of us. How's that? Probably be like a gift card that we get and everybody pitches in a few bucks for it.
Yeah, like
Does that sound like a plan?
Macy's or
Well, we could get like
Marshalls or something.
We could get like Amstar maybe to sponsor like a
We gotta
year
figure out
of
what
free
to do.
movies.
Should Ryan win, we got to
Get
do
that
something where
anyway.
he actually has the capability of cashing in.
hello.
So.
Oh yeah, I forgot
As
about
far
that.
as pitching in, I've got a couple of buttons.
You may end up having to owe somebody, David.
Me and Jeff are gonna get greedy because we know we're in the top contenders.
Yeah, maybe.
I've got a ball of lint that's
We'll get it figured
slowly
out. We
gaining
will.
value over the course of a few years.
We'll talk about it off there and figure out exactly what the prize is going to be. But there will be a prize involved for the winner. Just don't expect, like a gold laced throne or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Disappointing.
I honestly think that Jupiter Ascending moving was probably the best thing that happened to my bracket.
Now,
yeah, really.
You may be right there because
I'm looking forward to it, but I think I'm one of 5 people.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard
kind
of
of.
that.
Let's go back
It's the
down
Wachowskis'
again. Yeah, I think that might be actually the
no,
way
I
to
do
go.
remember.
Chris says that he's a little unfamiliar with the film Jupiter Ascending. Number one, tell us why it has been moved, and then number two, give us an overview on it.
The official story from Warner Brothers is that they didn't feel that the effects will be ready by its release date next month.
Okay.
So they pushed it on out to February.
Well, that ought to do it.
Right. Plenty of time.
It looked so stupid.
It looks
Yeah, it
crazy good. I mean, it's like...
It looks terrible.
It looked so bad.
I'm
You
sorry.
two, Ryan and Jeff got into a little tiff on Facebook, by the way, about this film because Ryan said exactly what he just said, and Jeff, you honestly feel that this is going to be a hit.
Autobots transform and roll out. That's all I got to say. I'm
Ryan-
sorry that it's an original sci-fi premise.
I got you. Ryan, you're going to be off next week. What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be going to a Comic-Con in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Who's going to be there?
Tons of people. Sean Astin, James Marsters, Jason David Frank, Christopher Lloyd, Whoopi Goldberg, among others.
On behalf of Josh and I, tell
Yes.
Sean that we really liked him in Mom's Night Out.
He was awesome.
Oh, I will do that.
All right. Where can we find you online?
Go to facebook.com/TheRPM Show or at Ryan Matthews on Facebook.
Be careful, have fun, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thank you, everyone on the show. You guys take care.
We'll do it, David. David, we can find you online as well and find all kinds of original stuff from you. Where?
You can find my original comedy sketches and short films at maladjusted.tv.
All right, my friend. Hopefully you'll be back in the studio next week.
I should be.
All right. Thank you very much. Josh, thank you for bringing Chris in. Chris, welcome into the show.
My pleasure.
Come back whenever
I
you
enjoyed
can.
it.
Jeff, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
I'll do it.
And we'll talk to y'all next week.